Hey guys, Swanny here. Welcome back to X-Plane. Today, I really wanted to show off SkyMaxx version 4. This was just released yesterday from xaviation.com. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to go check it out over on their website. It's just basically kind of a little bit of an upgrade from SkyMaxx 3. They do some 3D precipitation, and they've increased like the draw distance and performance, and added more cloud layers and stuff like that. Be sure to go check it out on the website. They got all the information on it. If you guys were a version 3 owner, you should have gotten an email from X Aviation saying that you have a discount code for 60 days to go pick up SkyMaxx for 50% off. So be sure to go do that if you guys are interested in getting SkyMaxx. Otherwise, after 60 days, you have to pay full price. Also, with the release of SkyMaxx, they also gave in a free update to Real Weather Connector. So now we're on 1.1. That just basically lets it so you can have compatibility with SkyMaxx 4. SkyMaxx 4 you can use on X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 10. I did do some testing on X-Plane 11 yesterday, but I found that it's actually working better on X-Plane 10 right now. So that's why we're still in X-Plane 10 today. I really wanted to get this on X-Plane 11. Like the CRJ had a new update as well, which is what we're flying today, and that was compatible on X-Plane 11. And all the pieces just seemed to fall together for X-Plane 11. But I was doing a lot of test flights on it, and I really wasn't happy with the results. And yeah, I could bring that to you guys, but I wouldn't be happy with the quality of the video. So I want to bring the best quality video to you guys. That's why we're buying X-Plane 10 today. Everything works better on the CRJ and X-Plane 10. SkyMaxx works better on X-Plane 10, and that's why we're going to fly it today. So we're going to be doing a short little hop down from Atlanta over to Tallahassee, Florida. It's about an hour and 10-minute flight. I got all of our information all ready to go, so let's go ahead and get jumped up in the cockpit, and we'll get the plane ready to go. All right, we're up in the cockpit. First thing we want to do, first of all, before we get started, this plane's super like, I guess it's detailed to be like almost exact how it's supposed to be. It's not like study, but like the point is that you have to really follow this certain steps, otherwise your plane won't work correctly. And I had plenty of issues with that yesterday trying to get this thing figured out, but I finally got it all good now. So if you guys are having trouble with the plane, just kind of follow along, and I've gotten everything to work so far, so you guys can just kind of go off of this. So we're going to go with the battery first. This thing's going to start beeping at us. We can go ahead and clear both of those. It's a little bit bright in here. I'm going to turn the lights down just a smidge. All right. The next thing we want to do, we're not going to use, yeah, we can bring the AP or the ground power on first. So you go to the MCDU menu right here, go to the plane menu, click on this little guy. When it's green, that means you got your GPU. You can see it outside here. And we're using that just to save fuel. You can go straight to the APU if you want. I just don't like to burn fuel right off the bat while we're getting the plane set up, so that's why we're using the ground power. It's important to do this now, this next step. You want to load the plane, get the fuel and the passengers and weight and all that stuff done before you start aligning the IRS. Just because if you were to align it and then try to put weight and fuel on after, you'd have to realign it again. So we'll do that now. So we'll go down to weight and fuel. SimBrief's telling us today that we need about 5,300 pounds of fuel. So go ahead and adjust that to 5,300. Looks just about there. And our weight's going to be 46,000 pounds. So let's drag this up to 46,000 right there. Go ahead and click X. Now our plane's loaded correctly. So now what we can do is we can go up here, and you can see this this little green button right here where it says it's available. We go ahead and click that. Now that the rest of the plane's going to start booting up. So now we got to align the IRS. So we're going to put these both to nav. This was a problem I had yesterday, these yaw dampers right here. Technically, in the manual, they said that when they're white, that means that they're on. But then they kind of had like a little side note that I was kind of hard to see that says that they have to actually be off. And that's when they're actually on. It was an update that they did. So that if you don't enable or engage these, you can't engage the autopilot. So that was one of the issues I had yesterday. So we'll do that. Going back up to the overhead panel, put the nav light on and the logo light on. We can turn on 3A right now. That's what it wants us to do. And I think that's good for now. We can go back down here. We got to put it in our position so it can keep aligning. So let's go to the menu again, FMS, position in it. We are at KATL Atlanta today. Pop that there, take that, put it there. Now that's going to start aligning it to our current position. And this is where we can't move or add fuel or weight or anything, otherwise it will reset the alignment completely. But while it's doing that, we can input the flight plan. We're going to Tallahassee, which is KTLH. Pop that there. Depart and arriving page, we're going to depart off of runway 27 right today. Going off the Thurster 9 departure, sorry, and the luck transition. Go ahead and exec that. Go back to the legs page. We'll scroll down here. We only have one waypoint we got today, and that's going to be SZW. So SZW. And we'll pop that right there. That puts it in there. And then we'll go back to the departing and arriving page, and we'll put our arrival in for Tallahassee. We're going to come in on 27. Transition SZW. And we'll exec that. Now we can go back to the legs page. You can see that got its continuity. We've got to pop that there. Like that. You can go over here. If you change this right here, you can see that you start going through the formats. So you can go into our plan mode, and then if you want to step through, you can use these little arrows, and it'll step through your plan. This thing put us in a holding pattern. I've noticed it's done that. So what I'm going to do is just delete those because we don't want to be in a holding pattern. Let me just double check real fast. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go delete, and we'll delete this guy, and then we'll delete, and we'll delete hold at glazed. So now we'll go ahead and exec that. If we were to zoom in here, oops, too many. Well, it's all right. We'll go back a couple. So we're coming from SZW. We'll go there. We'll make this turn around, and then we'll catch the the localizer, go into 27. So that looks good. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. You can do. There's not really much you can do. This plane doesn't have VNAV or auto throttles or anything like that, so there's not really much you can do with the FMS. So you kind of just leave it like that. Let's see. In the meantime, this actually just finished aligning, so we're pretty much good. We can set up the rest of the plane. We got to get the altimeter set. Altimeter in Atlanta today is 3045. Let's go ahead and move to that. Like that. And let's see, what else do we need to do? We can set up the glare shield. Now this is also important as well. There's a certain way you got to do this. So you want to start with the flight director first. Then we're going to go to heading. So we're going to go runway heading to start, because you got to start in heading mode before you can switch over to the nav mode. Runway heading is 275. Go and hit the heading button. And then you also have to hit the altitude button before you put in your altitude. So we'll hit that. And we're going up to 28,000 feet today. Actually, let's just go 27. It's kind of a short flight. I did 28 yesterday. It worked fine. It's just by the time you get up to 28 or whatever, you start you're pretty much ready to descend. So we'll just go 27. That's fine. But I also noticed if you put the autopilot on with the altitude on, your plane will kind of nose down. So what I like to do is after I've set this, it will still work if you just go to vertical speed mode after that. And I like to start at like 2,500 feet per minute to start out with. All right, so that's all set up. We can go ahead and punch our V speeds in. There are charts that you must read. They don't calculate V speeds for you. There's some charts that based off of your total weight, they'll give you all your V speeds. I already wrote them down to save us some time. So what we want to do is get this little guy over to V speeds, and we can go ahead and start punching them in. V1 is going to be 137. Hit select. Next guy is going to be 139. Just like that. And then we're going to got 148. Okay, and then if you go back to here, we can set our vertical takeoff speed 176. So it's probably not vertical takeoff speed. I don't even know what they call that, but basically the speed that we go when we're off of the ground. So that looks good. We can also set our speed here. Set it to 176 for now. All right, let's just do a quick little check here, make sure I didn't forget anything. Navs, all dampers off, that looks good. That's all set up. Got fuel, got people, got lights. And let's turn these on. All right, I think we're ready to start the APU. So let's go up here and we'll get it started. The first thing you want to do is hit this power fuel button and then hit the start stop button right after that. If you were to pop back down here, you can see on this screen right here, it's starting to come alive. And then you'll hear a little beam or a little beeping as soon as it becomes available, and that's when you can switch on the APU gen. Almost there. We'll go ahead and just pop over now because we know it's almost done. And I'll show you here what happens. So you can see now it pops available. So we want to turn the APU gen on. Turn the bleed on, isolation valve. And we'll keep the packs on for now just because we got people in here. It's all right. So now we can disconnect from the ground power. So you can go ahead and hit that button. We'll pop down to FMC. Go back to plane menu and disconnect that. All is good. Let's go back up previous page so we can see what we're doing. Also, I'm going to switch this back to our plan so we can see. All right, so we got everything's all lined up. We got everything ready to go. We're pretty much ready for pushback at this point. We can turn on the rest of our hydraulic pumps now, I suppose. And let's go ahead and call for pushback. So we'll go up here, plugins, ground services. This one doesn't have a pushback with the plane, so you got to do the free pushback plugin, or if you have Tugmaster or whatever, any of these work. We'll request the pushback and request. Clear that. Wait for this guy to come back.
EJP32 pushback ready. Please release park brakes.
Alright, we'll go ahead and do that. While he's pushing us back, we can go ahead and throw on the beacon light. And we'll go ahead and shut off the packs, get ready for starting up the engines. We'll use Ignite Array today. Start the right engine first, come back down here. We are looking for above 15%. You have to start it above 50%, otherwise you will hard start the engine and it will catch on fire. So wait for that one to finish stabilizing, which it just has done. Just give it a couple more seconds. Alright, that looks good. Let's go ahead and start engine, left engine. Same thing, waiting for 15%.
EJP32 pushback finalized.
Let's go ahead and pull the parking brakes. Hold on a sec. Pull this armrest up. There we go. Alright. We have both engines on now. We can go ahead and put both gens on. Go ahead and kill the APU. Turn those off. Turn this back on. Turn off the ignition. And let's see. That should be good. Clear that. Go ahead and set go on flaps 1 or flaps 8, I guess you could say, just the first notch flaps. Go ahead and turn the taxi lights on. And that looks good for now. Let's go ahead and start taxiing. We are running the Blue Sky Star sound packs today, which is as always amazing. If you don't have it for the CRJ, I highly recommend it. It honestly just changes the whole experience of the plane. You just listen to those engines, it sounds awesome. You even jump back here, you can hear them. So yeah, I highly recommend those. I got a little bit of a taxi to 207. I'll probably just fast forward this and we'll catch up with you guys once we're getting ready to take off. All right, we are just approaching 27 right now. I'm not going to go all the way down to the last one because we don't really need to. Let's go ahead and let everyone know we're getting ready to go. Throw start lights on, taxi lights, or landing lights on. We'll go ahead and just get out of here. Weather's been pretty nasty here over the last day or two. It's perfect for showing off SkyMaxx, but at the same time, it's also a little bit nasty to fly in. There were some thunderstorms and some pretty heavy weather I had to navigate around today. I'm not sure if there's going to be that this morning. That was last night, so. But anyway, we'll just get off here and we'll kind of see what happens. Let's stabilize. Set takeoff power. Takeoff power set. Turn knots. It's our V1 and our rotate. Start pulling back slightly. Gear up. We'll kind of just hand fly it a little bit here. The weather looks like it's cleared up a little bit. It was definitely like there was like no visibility. It was completely cloudy everywhere yesterday. So this is a little bit better. Let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for autopilot here. Go ahead and just engage that now. And it looks like everything's doing good. Let's go ahead and pull up the first set of flaps. And we'll continue accelerating up to 250 knots and we'll hold it there. You can actually move this up a little bit. We'll go with 3,000 feet a minute just for now so we can get ourselves up to 10,000 feet so we can keep accelerating. Go ahead and pop outside here. You can kind of see us moving through the clouds a little bit. I am using photoreal today. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see much of it just because it's, like I said, the weather's been kind of crappy, but I think they did a pretty good job. I can look around a little bit. I mean, the clouds are looking a little bit more believable. There's definitely better performance than there was on version 3. I can tell you that. I was able to increase my draw distance, probably double it, and I'm still getting a little bit better, frames than I was getting when I was running V3. And they're looking pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with it so far. Alright, we'll go ahead and switch over our nav source to FMS now. It still maintains heading mode, but when we want to put nav mode on, it will be set up to go on our course we've put in. Bring our power back just a little bit so we don't go over 250. Again, this is all manual throttle. You got to do all the speed yourself, which is kind of fun. It's different. It keeps you on top of your toes for sure, but it's looking pretty nice. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it, especially for people that have it already. I mean, it doesn't hurt to just spend. I think it's $20 because you get the 50% off. Let's go ahead and throw it on nav mode now. Should go and intercept that line and go ahead and follow it. A little bit more juice in here. Don't want it to fall down too much. Alright, passing through 10,000 feet, go ahead and turn off all the landing lights. Now we can accelerate up to our climb speed, which we're going to go about 290. So I'll tilt the nose down just a little bit so we can gain some speed. Do Go throttle up just a little bit. Don't want to go too much. So I should go down a little bit more. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. Go ahead and jump outside one more time here. It's starting to get above the clouds. You can see some photoreal down there. Clouds kind of covering that up a little bit. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, you can see the draw distance has definitely increased a little bit. I only have up to 10,000, whatever it is, 10,000 square feet, however they measure it. And I think I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I mean, I can go farther than that. I probably could. I just would rather have the frames. And I think this is doable enough. I can get away with it. But I think it looks pretty good, so. All right, well, I'm gonna keep managing our speed as we keep climbing, and then we'll throttle back as we get to our cruising altitude. We're planning to start our top of descent around 75-80 miles from the field. So I will keep an eye on all that, and then we'll kind of catch up with you guys as we're getting closer, passing through probably 10,000 feet as we're making our way into Tallahassee. Alright guys, welcome back. We're just getting ourselves down into Tallahassee here. Weather's still pretty nasty over here. We're just getting through 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get everything kind of set up, and then we'll talk about what we're going to end up doing. So throw all the landing lights and stuff on. Right now I'm trying to just kind of mess with the vertical speed to get ourselves down to 1,800 feet. That's what we need to be at when we hit our point for the localizer, so I'm kind of just messing with that a little bit. Let's go ahead and get ourselves slowed down. We need to be below 250. I think we can actually move ourselves up a little bit. Again, you can see where our banana is. You can kind of see we're just trying to guide that around to get to the glazed point. That's when we hit our that's when we hit the localizer. When I saw the weather, I think last time I checked, it said that it's going to be overcast about 600 feet above the ground. So we're going to need pretty much do an ILS approach on this one. We're not going to be able to see anything. That's one issue I had with this plane a little bit, is I'm having a hard time getting it to catch on to the localizer, and I think there's just a specific way you got to do it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to try. Hopefully it works out. If not, it's going to look a little weird. But we'll do our best. So we can go ahead and start getting that ready now. We're looking for it's gonna be 119er or 111.9. So we'll go ahead and set that here. This is how I got to work last night, so I'm just gonna do exactly what I did, and hopefully it all works out. So we'll hit that. We'll switch it. So now that's active 111.9. We can then come over to the FMS or FMC, whatever you want to call it. And we'll go to radio. And you can see it's on automatic 111.9, but it needs to be in manual. So we'll click that to go to manual. This is what I've read off the manual. This is how it's supposed to work. 111.9. We'll stick that there. Hopefully that will work. We can't set a course yet because we're still on our nav sources on the FMS, not on nav 1, which is where we got to set up our course. So what we'll do is when we make that big sweeping turn, but we need to fix ourselves here. Let's go up a little bit. Hold on. Going a little too quick here. Let's go like 800 feet per minute. That looks good. Get a little power back in here so we keep ourselves around 250. So that should be set up now. Again, we're just kind of trying to get ourselves, we can actually zoom in a little bit too. When we hit glazed, that's when we'll intercept the localizer. So we're trying to get around 1800 at that point. So we just got to make sure that we're going to be down in time. A little bit more power. Yeah, so again, I really wanted to do this on X-Plane 11. Like I did multiple test flights with this plane, with SkyMaxx, with everything, and it didn't look as good. Like there's still issues with X-Plane 11. It's not looking like it should. And I found that when I put it on the X-Plane 10 with all the same stuff, with this update, he actually added a lot of the same stuff that he added on X-Plane 11 to the X-Plane 10 version of the plane. So it actually looks just as good, if not better, which is why I ended up doing it this way. So that's kind of my reasoning behind it. Let's go ahead and add a notch of flaps on. So slow down a little bit more. Again, I literally just learned how to fly this plane yesterday, like last night. I was spending all day trying to figure it out, reading the manuals, doing test flights and stuff like that. So this is really my first flight where I feel like I might be able to get everything good. But I think so far it's going all right. So we just got to keep an eye on everything. When we make that big turn, I'm going to go into, got to get our heading kind of set up for that. All right, looks like we picked it up because I can see the little pink dot, so that's good. I think we're going to be okay with the localizer. Look through some clouds. All right. At that point, we're supposed to be at 2600 above, so we're actually doing pretty good on that. Getting ourselves slowed down. This is where I need to get the heading set up. I need to see where it's going to be so I can keep that path to intercept it. Wait till we keep making that turn. I think it's going to be right about there. We can go into heading mode now. And we'll go switch over our nav source to nav 1. Course is going to be 272, like that. Now that should, you can see it's all set up right here. Once that starts moving towards us, we'll go ahead and arm it. Guess that's a little more power so don't get too low. Looking for about 135 is going to be our VREF speed. Just waiting for that to start moving towards us, and then we'll catch it any second now. Come on. Come on. There it goes. Go ahead and put it in approach mode. Go ahead and drop the landing gear. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The weather's pretty nasty. It looks like we established ourselves pretty well though, so we're good. We're on the localizer, we're on the glide slope. So we did that part right. Gotta get ourselves slowed down to 135, 140 though. Gotta start adding some more flaps in. One more set, and that will be our final flaps.
1,000.
There's the runway. A little bit of a crosswind. Trying to get our speed all set up before we kill off the autopilot.
500. 400.
A little bit more speed.
300.
Kill it there.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Kill the reversers and manual brake. Not bad. A little bit high, a little bit long, and landed a little bit late, but that's all right. We were able to get off on time. Yeah, turn off here. And I'll turn off the landing lights, turn off the strobe lights.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Those seat backs and tray tables in their full upright.
I got flaps in.
And all carry-on items simply be stowed until we arrive at the gate. When the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign, use caution when opening the overhead bin. Items may have shifted during flight and could fall out. You can go ahead and use your cell phone to make phone calls at this time, but we'd like to ask that you please do not stand up.
Yeah, I probably killed the autopilot a little too late. I wasn't able to get ourselves down.
If any of you are making a connection here, just
I was really just trying to get that speed right before we did that.
number. Folks, it has been a pleasure sharing part of our day with you. We know that you have
Alright, let's see, where are we parking?
Go out, buckle up, be safe, be kind to one another, and get back and see us.
We'll hang a right here. These are both neat little airports. These are both done by Nicholas off of xplane.org. I'll go ahead and link the description in here as well. But I hope you guys kind of enjoyed. I think this was a good little preview of SkyMaxx 4. I think that weather did a pretty good job of showing what it can do. The only thing I'm curious to see is the rain. I haven't seen any of the rain yet, as far as it like actually coming towards you and streaky and looks like you're flying through it. I know that's a new feature that they've added, so I'm kind of curious to see how that works out. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. The plane does pretty good too. But now that I've kind of figured it out a little bit more, like I'm actually starting to enjoy it more. For the longest time I had a hard time just figuring out how it all worked. Because it was very, like you literally had to do everything a certain way, otherwise it didn't work at all. but it's actually kind of a fun little plane, especially for these little short flights. Color the taxi lights. Unfortunately, my autogate's not working at this airport for some reason. Not really sure why, but we'll just kind of pull up ourselves. It's about right there. Go ahead and pull the parking brake. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the, the little preview of SkyMaxx Pro 4. Again, go pick it up on X Aviation. That's on sale right now. For those of you that already had SkyMaxx 3. Let's see. If you guys liked it, leave a like. It's always appreciated. I try to make these videos the best I possibly can, with the best quality and stuff like that. So. And also, if you guys haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. I do a lot of X-Plane. I do some train sim and some other cool games and sims. You guys can check out the channel and check those out. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Hope you guys I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys with some more X-Plane soon. Take care.